Recording in progress.
Okay, I think that's that. Welcome everyone to another town hall. And let's see, you guys are seeing my screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me just hide my Zoom toolbar here. Okay, so let's see. Do we have anyone to introduce today? Doesn't look like it. Same old folks. All right. Action items. I'm supposed to set up or figure out how to set up a fundraiser on Facebook. I figured out how to do it, but then I handed it off to John and Ben, who are getting that taken care of now.
And we have done it, and we can do a little demo and commercial when you see fit.
Great. Ben, that's done. That's for the fundraiser. Bob and I have not yet reconnected. Bob's still tied up with his move, so these next few we're going to skip. He's going to give us an update when time permits. John, any updates on the outreach work for India?
No.
Okay. All right. And I don't have anybody scheduled for presentations in these town halls. I would love to, so just let us know. Did I put in, I think this is today. Yes, this is the latest. So nothing really to call out here in the statistics. Pretty typical. I'll just leave them here for people to review. Upcoming meetings, we've got all of our recurring meetings listed here. The next one coming up is going to be our device pilots meeting on Monday, 12 Eastern. And you can always see what's up on the hub calendar and our little widget of upcoming events in the sidebar. Let's see, it doesn't look like we have Allie today. Who wants to give us
Should be here
quick...
a little bit later. She's doing a CAD workshop.
Somebody want to give us a quick pitch on our November 20th event?
Why don't we wait for Allie?
Sounds good. We'll come back to that. So then we'll just move on for now. John, is there any, I have a note here about Cointer. I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it Cointer? Cointer?
Well, that's right. Everton in Brazil is a major organizer of this conference. I'm giving a talk entitled Lessons from e-NABLE, Time for Makers to Remake the World, in which I try to pull together what e-NABLE has done and some of the broader ecological issues that I've been working on recently. And nice. That's the scoop.
When is your specific presentation, John?
I don't think it's confirmed yet. It's not until December.
Okay. Okay. Let us know when you find out. I know I would definitely like to see that. I'm sure there'll be a recording, but okay. Let's see. Discussion topics. So I don't know how we're going to do this, but somehow we were just talking about the fact that we need to figure out how to present the very exciting work that we're doing on this new app for guiding us through taking measurements in the field and then generating parametrically scaled, that's the key here, parametrically scaled STL files based on those measurements. Now, those who understand what, parametric modeling means will understand the power in what I just said. I mean, it's a big thing. Very simple front end to be able to just capture the data we need and then generate these properly scaled, where screw holes are kept the same, cable channels are kept the same, maybe wall thickness stays the same, but everything else gets scaled as needed. We've never really been able to pull this off right, and we're very close now. So, John, Ben, what do you guys think? I don't know if these meetings are even best. I kind of like the idea of doing a separate session to just have Andrew kind of go through what he's doing and maybe just record that, so that we have something that we could share separately, with the community. But what are your thoughts on how we do that?
Well, I do think it's a natural for the focus follow-up group. I'm sorry.
We've got you twice, John.
I know. Okay. All right. Good. Good. I think it's a natural for the focus follow-up group. I do think it would be useful to present both the new hand that we're designing and the parametric customization system that you've talked about, because they are both very cool and they're interrelated, and it's a lot to take in.
It is.
So I think it's a great idea to think about getting maybe you and Andrew and Alexander together, maybe to make a video walkthrough.
Well, that's not a bad idea. That would mean we'd have to wait a little bit longer because we're not there yet with our design in terms of just bringing the components together.
Well, as you wish. My real point is that even as a sketch of what's coming, I think you in particular, have organized so much really high quality work that it's worth sharing a snapshot with the community, and that video might be a good way to do it. But you could also do it as a live presentation. But I think they should be rolled together so that people don't get lost in the weeds, as is often the case when you're trying to figure out what this new technology is all about.
Right.
I've got two suggestions. One is I think it'd be really worthwhile to think about how you guys can leverage the space that you currently have for public-facing interest. Right now, it's primarily team members that are collaborating in that space, but that's a wonderful place to sort of coordinate. I mean, you can, in the wiki, have things that are only for certain members with, moderation privileges, and for public-facing folks. So you could have some videos and other things, and then you can still have all your personal meeting stuff separate. But I wonder, as the second thing I wanted to mention, if you guys have a public-facing resources, including a video, that's a great idea that John has. What if in the networking event on November 20th, your presentation, Jeremy, is maybe connected to the design process? How your team has organized itself to work internationally, reviewing existing models, identifying the high priorities to work on. I know that there's a lot of chapters that are interested in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I was planning to cover that somewhat, but I only have a half an hour, and I was asked to talk about cross-chapter collaboration, so I have to cover most of the online infrastructure and the tooling that we have already. But I will touch on the work that we're doing now. There's no way that that's going to be enough time to do what we want to do here, so I'll have to do something separate for this.
Right. Well, it could connect. It could be something where you touch on it, but you lead people in with a link to a public-facing list of resources that you guys have, and could have sort of this longer video that John was suggesting with Ann.
I'll figure it out. I don't have public resources really to share right now that would be helpful to people, but it's more stuff that it really I think is meaningful to our team at this point until we get further along. But I will put together something that I can share with people. So, all right, I'll think about how to do that, and it'll probably just be a separate meeting with Andrew and Alexander or something like that, and we'll just record it and give an overview. That's probably the easiest way. So anyway, it is very exciting. I will figure out a way to share that because I think others will enjoy what we're doing, and I definitely think it's something that other designers in our community will want to take advantage of. It has major benefits. I still have not gotten the e-NABLE France matching platform deployed, only because I don't know enough about system level WordPress stuff in terms of where the different files need to go. And so I'll just say again, if anybody out there has a background with like WordPress, like system administration, like at the level of actually setting up the different file folders and figuring out which files need to go where and stuff like that, I can use that kind of help. I think
Jeremy, have you posted into the hub or Facebook asking for that help?
No, I haven't. I haven't had time to really even think about it outside of these meetings. So
we should make a note of that, because there are probably a few more people out there who are not watching these broadcasts.
Yeah, I don't know, Ben, if are you still doing like the update regular like calls for help or like here's the current needs or anything like that? Is there a list we could put it on?
We've got it in the pin post. It'd be great to add that in there, but you'd want to have a separate post as well that basically lets people know it's there.
Okay.
And maybe like a job, not a job description, but you can
Yeah.
kind of break things down, what you're looking for, and add some photos.
Enabling the future, enable hub. I don't think there's anything new to cover on any of these. So we're going to move on to fundraising. I think this would be a good point, John, for you to, if you want to give a quick demo of what you set up on the fundraising.
Okay, so I am sharing my screen. And I'm going to Facebook. And I am looking for recent activity. Click. There you go. So there's this new fundraiser to which Kel Cheadle and Ben Rubin have already contributed. And here it is. We've already raised $120. And
Yeah, start
I'm
inviting
now
people.
going to share it to my newsfeed, like that. Put something in, pass something on. And I'm going to share it with the e-NABLE.all page, which is the page that aggregates Facebook posts that come my way and shares them out to the world. And I will also share directly to the Facebook group called e-NABLE and Enabling the Future. And we encourage other people to pass it on and or click the donate button and help us reach our goal, which we currently set at $4,000. And here's a nice picture, courtesy of Jen Owen. And by the way, I, for the occasion, have changed my own profile page, including a really pretty picture I found recently. So there you go. We're all in for November 19th, Tuesday, Day of Giving, and that's the story. And, you know, in past years, donations have been matched by Facebook. I don't notice that I've seen that this year, but it's probably true. And even if it isn't, we would welcome your support.
John, did you say you do have access to share that on the main e-NABLE Facebook
I do.
page? Okay,
I do.
Yeah, let's definitely do that. I think that's the one that most people see. Okay, I'll get my notes back up. All right, Alexander, do you have any news for us on your investigation into this ICO-CREAD collaboration?
We have had 2 meetings so far, and we've just established the who is who part, and we have a lot of people part of this interesting collaboration, including very large companies or foundations. We are still yet to figure out what we want to do in specific terms. It's probably going to be a form of an aggregation hub where we reunite various designs.
Okay, kind of a thingiverse for assistive tech.
Pretty much, and reuniting the platforms that are already available, such as e-NABLE.
Mm-hmm. So then, did you have a chance to go through all the, I know there was a whole bunch of emails and some Google Docs and stuff like that. Did you review all that kind of background information?
Yeah, turns out the email stacks were much smaller than I expected. Probably
Okay.
2-3 hours of work at most.
Okay.
But he did a good job. He gave me a good briefing, and then we both attended the meeting together.
Got it. Okay. Next steps then? Are there further meetings? Are we going to get a report with details?
There are further meetings, and you will get updates as they go.
Okay. Anything anyone else can do to help with that, or are you guys just going to handle it for now?
We're good.
Okay. Let's see. I know Saif Savage was working on a grant. Has anybody heard any updates there on how that's going?
Haven't heard. She submitted it.
Okay. I didn't get a chance to check today, but I'm guessing our e-NABLE fund still hovers right around that 30K mark. We'll check real
I
quick.
think that's right.
As a reminder, you can always get to this with finance.enable.org. And yeah, oh no, that's the budget. Today's balance, yeah, we're right there. It's exactly the same.
As a quick
Just
reminder,
please.
John, we do have to send funds to the chapter in Guadalajara. That was something you passed to.
Well, that's right. So let's just review how that, yes, that's right. So we should ping Evan to see if that's been resolved.
Evan's not the one to do it. He doesn't have the authority to actually send funds. That's his response in the
Okay,
email.
it's a reminder for me. If you would note take, it's an action item for me to make sure that e-NABLE Guadalajara gets the $500 that this esteemed body authorized quite some time ago.
Okay. Where were we? Okay. Oh, and funds coming in from 2 anniversary donations to Dora and Milstein. So we will have some refreshers coming in. Are those 5K each?
No, I don't think so. I think Dora is 30K.
Oh, wow.
20. One's
20?
20K,
Beg your
one's
pardon.
5K.
So 25K coming in on top of this. That's going to bring us to 55K. So projects, people. Projects. I know I have one in mind that we will be proposing tied to that application we were talking about. Although, even as I say that, Andrew came back and said, "Hey, I recruited 2 more volunteer developers, so maybe we don't need to fund anything." We'll see, but we definitely need some good projects from the community. We've got the money to support them, so let's make some stuff happen. Giving Tuesday we already covered. I have a note here that's November 30th. Is that right? I thought I had seen a different date previously. Is November 30th the right date?
That's the last that I heard. We
Okay.
do
Well, that makes sense.
want
Slightly
to
after Thanksgiving.
take a peek at the fundraising goal. I think John has it set at 4,000, but you
Okay.
can make it 5,000 or 100,000. And it
Interesting.
sounds like no matter what we raise, we get to keep. So it's just a number to give people, you know,
Something to shoot for.
encouragement. What do you guys think? 4 or 5?
What did we do before, John? You said?
I don't even remember. It's adjustable. I think 4 is reachable.
I
And-
like staying conservative, and if we blow it away, great.
Right.
I see that we have Allie with us. Allie, you want to give us a plug real quick for the November 20th event?
Yeah, so we have a pretty great lineup of speakers and chapters coming to attend. On November 20th, it's a Saturday. We're having a student chapter networking event starting at 10 a.m. with John Shull. He's going to talk about e-NABLE, past, present, and future. Then we're going to have Eric Bubar from Marymount University talking about presentations and chapter takeaways. We're going to have a bunch of other things throughout the day. We're definitely going to have a speed round chapter introduction segment, a Maker Lab tour from Ian Roy at Brandeis. We're having a few chapters, maybe 4 or 5, come and present on different topics. We're hoping that Jeremy is going to come and present on a topic, possibly cross-chapter collaboration. And we're also going to have a bunch of networking breakout rooms with different themes and moderators. So it's a packed day. We have 30-minute lunch break in between all of this awesome stuff, and different chapters who are choosing to do a hybrid version instead of a virtual version have an opportunity to be subsidized by e-NABLE for a pizza party up to $5 per person. And there's a lot more information about this on the hub. And if anybody's listening right now and wants to learn more, you can email me. My name's Allie Elliott at info@enable with a dash in between E and NABLE.org. And then the event will wrap up with Ben Rubin talking about continued connections and collaboration. And we're going to finish the day around 5:30. So everyone who's already signed up will be receiving an email from me and a document with participant resources and more information about a new badge that's coming out for the event. So things are looking good.
Excellent. Nice work putting that all together, guys.
Thank you.
I've been telling people lately that I think this really serves as a great test run for what I think is going to be the way going forward of doing these kinds of events, because next year we're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of the e-NABLE volunteer community. There's a number of different kind of key events you could look at, but they all fall sometime next year. So next year is 10 year and we want to do something big. I'm hoping we can pull together a really big kind of a conference, but not trying to get everyone from all over the globe in one place, but doing it like we're doing this. Let's get everyone together locally in their own areas and then bring us all together online. And I think that could be a really effective way of doing this on a larger scale. So this is kind of a dry run for that. It's very exciting. What else we got here? I think we've covered all the infrastructure stuff. So yeah, that's right. We're on to fundraising. Anything else? Does anybody have anything related to fundraising? Usually Bob covers this.
I guess I can just jump in and say that the annual report for Dodora is something that I got some feedback from Bob and John, went through the edits and sent that out to you guys just at the beginning of the meeting. So that should be ready for Bob to send out. Jeremy, just take a quick look at it, but I know Bob and John have already gone through it, and it should be good to go. And it's a good model for us for the posts related to Giving Tuesday, so we can do some social media stuff, sharing things around.
It is a very handsome document, thanks to Ben Rubin, and it has lots of information about the rather extraordinary amount of stuff that's happened in the last year. And we should indeed publish it and make it, establish it as a fixture on our various websites.
Absolutely. It's really well done. And I don't wait on me, Ben. I don't know that I'll even have time, but if 2 people have already reviewed the data, I'm sure it's all good.
Okay. And it's something, Bob's going to be the one to send it out. He's been sort of the coordinator for folks at Dodora. It's a good reminder for us too, though, to think about, in terms of fundraising. We've talked in the past about Comcast. We've talked in the past about, not just Goldman Sachs, but some other organizations. So it could be sort of a we could send it to some of these organizations and say, we've got this fundraiser. Here's what we did last year. Would you like to support us going forward? So maybe I can coordinate with Bob after he settles in after the move, and we can try to get some things in before the end of the year, because this is the time when a lot of corporations can set up sort of employee matching stuff, and we've had good luck with that in the past.
I would suggest, what you've put together is a powerful tool, something that we can actually send them that shows what we've done, but I would suggest that we tie that with some kind of a cover letter that has rather specific call to action options. I've seen people that put together different kind of support packages, something like that makes it really easy for them to have different ways of supporting. Might be a good idea. Great. So I think we'll move on to our case-related stuff. Now, there was one update from Bob. He's not here to tell us about it, but he sent some photos and stuff for a case that came through John. So John, maybe you can give us the update there. Have you heard about? I know it did break his first day using it at school.
Well, there you go.
Push himself up with it, right?
That's
but
right.
Otherwise, it seemed like it was fitting pretty well, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I have the impression, thanks to Bob, that the family and the young man and Bob all understand that it is an iterative process.
Good.
That the young man is himself a critical test pilot. And this process is a reminder that you don't just deliver a hand and walk away, that the circling back and tuning it and adjusting it and getting feedback and sharing good vibes is an important part of the process.
Are you still in touch with them, John? You're still in touch with the parents?
Well, after a lapse of 8 years, they followed up and said, we're ready now. And
Okay,
I
well, I
connected
mean,
them with Bob.
okay, so you have contact. The only reason I'm asking is maybe reach out, just make sure that they're aware of our device pilots meetings. I would love to have an 8-year-old device pilot in there to talk to us.
That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
great idea.
And
That's
that's
a great
Monday.
idea.
Our next meeting is Monday. I'll send out the email today. And Allie, maybe if you want to also mention about the idea of bringing chapters together and incorporating their device users into their teams. That was something that we're going to try to pilot for this event coming up.
Yeah, so I'm going to send out an email to all of the registrants. Right now we have 20 individuals who have like registered, but a lot of them are associated with chapters. So there's definitely going to be more than 20 people. But I'm going to send out an email, and it's going to basically cover a bunch of things, including like the logistics, the Zoom link, pizza party, participant resources, but also we want to potentially have a device user panel if anybody is interested in joining us for that. If anybody has device users who are involved in their chapters. And so we're just going to basically be sending out information about that and see if there's any traction around that. But we want to highlight how like important device users are to chapters as volunteers, and like in association with like creative thinking and innovation and all of that stuff. Did you have anything to add, Ben?
It looks like we might be able to get Pope Paraguay involved in the event. And not only is it a group of students that started it originally, but their first device recipients became lead designers that have stayed with them all these years, and they designed all these different adapters with them. So taking a step back to the annual report, one of the things that we changed a little bit in how we approached it was looking at our population as including the device users as sort of part of the numbers that we're collecting. It's not just volunteers and recipients, but we're all sort of working together here. So encouraging chapters to, like Paraguay, who have been modeling this for a long time, to be sort of integrating the device users as sort of leaders within the chapter is something we're going to try to touch upon.
Great.
And we don't currently have any photographs in our archive of people eating pizza with e-NABLE prosthetics. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. And just maybe a quick number that I shared with John that he thought was interesting. It's in the annual report, but device recipients, in terms of our numbers, in terms of the numbers that we've gotten back so far, registered device users for chapters is a much larger number than the device recipients. So for every 2 devices that are delivered, there's 3 registered device users, probably because people are waiting on designs and stuff. Another number that's interesting is if we look at our projected chapter members and we look at our projected device users and recipients, it's 1 out of 4 of our volunteer community has limb difference. So, if we put those numbers together, we start to get a different picture of the community. And I think moving forward, it'll be really helpful for chapters to keep an eye on those numbers and share it with the larger group.
Answering Alexander's question in the chat, no, that was not Bishnu's case we were talking about. That's another case that we're working on. This is for an 8-year-old boy, and an entirely different case. I don't know the latest on Bishnu's case. I haven't heard back from them. I believe they're still trying to get him in there to do a test fitting because I haven't seen an update. So we'll have to get an update from Bob next time, but I don't believe there has been progress, unfortunately. We sent the hand, but I don't believe we've heard anything further. Quick note, Allie, if it helps you, we have the benchmark email platform. These 20 so people that have signed up. If you'd like, you can just put them all in there as a list and then send mass emails to them as needed. So let me know if you want to get into that. I can easily get you the credentials.
Okay, great.
I'm wondering if we should also send, maybe this is what you just said, I'm sorry, but all the newsletter subscribers should be alerted to this conference. Many of them will probably be associated with schools and universities.
It's not a bad idea. We do, so yeah, we have that master mailing list in there, Allie. So if you want to put in something, we could maybe take Ben's last newsletter, use that as a template, just so that you have the header graphics and all that, and you could just write up something custom about this event if you'd like.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Should I just forward that to you once it's done?
Ben, what would be your preference? I mean, I can just, if you're comfortable with it, Allie, I can just get you logged in. I can get you the credentials and you can create the email yourself. The way it works is once you create it, you send a draft. So you'd send the draft maybe to, me and Ben, just so that we can review it, make sure it looks good, and then it goes out to the whole mailing list.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll get you those credentials after the meeting.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah, anybody have anything else case related? I don't know about the this new
yeah, I
case.
can showcase something.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you said that in the chat. So let me stop my share here and turn it over to you, Alexander.
I'm gonna have to run, but I'll see you guys
See you, Ben.
next week. And just as a quick add-on to the cases, there was a wonderful video that two students, a brother and a sister, working together, put together at Rice University. I don't know if John or Kevin, if you guys want to add the link in there, but really inspiring stuff. And I'll watch the video later to see Alexander's update.
Is that in the main forum?
Yeah, I'll add a link in the chat. I have it handy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So apparently the guys from team Protosonho, the user has a thumb. However, they couldn't figure out how to put the entire hand inside the device. So their solution was to have this modification. I'm yet to receive an update of feedback of how the device is sitting on his hand, but I do think while it's rudimentarily simple, it could be an interesting approach for having thumbless designs for the thumbless design modifications for all of our main designs. And it's a fairly easy modification to make.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty similar to what we've done in the past for a thumb cutout. What is it about this that stands out to you as unique or useful?
Nothing in particular. Simply that we didn't have any such designs that I could access at the time.
Yeah. What I like is when I'm looking at like the angle, stop right where it is, that angle on the right side from the view that we have, that the wall on the right side at the the farther forward part of the hand. Yeah, that over to the right a little bit more. The far right wall. The far right wall.
This one?
That one right there. I like that that's thin because that's always the problem, is that when their natural thumb comes out, that thick wall of the hand kind of interferes with so much of your usable thumb. So I like that that's thinner. That's useful right there. You want to give as much room for that thumb to actually work as you can.
All right. That's pretty much my update for this week.
Okay. So this is being made for somebody and you do expect to get some feedback?
I don't know if I will get some feedback, but it is made for somebody.
Okay. Very cool. And is this like what is this from? Is this like an actual fully solid body design here, or was this like taking
this was the original
Phoenix
design around which we've made the Vishnu design.
Okay.
So I
it's
took the
derived from
Phoenix, I made it
yeah.
longer,
Got
and
it.
then I made the fingers shorter, and then we've modified it for Vishnu.
Got it. Okay. All right. Anybody else have anything to share case related? Anything you're working on? Need help with? Okay. Animal prosthetics. I don't really know what's going on there. We'll get an update from Bob next time he's able to join us. I see lots of excitement and activity, but I don't know of any details on actual cases. I know they're happening, but not really sure of where they're at. Outreach and partnerships. So John, anything to talk about here? Is there anything that we can do to move things forward on any of these fronts?
Well, we talked about the ICO Cread thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't really think I have anything to add at the moment.
Fair enough. One thought that I do have is just, there are some good resources already. We have a link in here for 3D printing tools for the blind. There's some for the hearing impaired. There's collections of assistive tech that is entirely separate from hands and arms. I wonder if we shouldn't maybe make a little bit more effort to bring those into our community and have a place, just like we have our devices catalog. Maybe we should have a section in there for prosthetic designs and have other assistive tech. I mean, that was always the idea with this community, but we haven't done a very good job of actually bringing that into our resources,
Well, that's precisely the point of this this alliance, this ICO-CREAD alliance. But in the interim, what we certainly could do is link to the other groups that have got their own collections.
That's the
and
quick fix.
make
I
a
like
plug
that.
for. Yeah, I think that's a good intermediate step.
So, can you and anyone else that knows of these kinds of collections help me out here? Can we start gathering these links? I have one here in the notes, but I know there's others. If people, if you want to like send them to me, I can easily update just our main page in the catalog so that at least we have, here are some other places to go check out. If you can just.
No, I think that's a great idea, and I nominate Alexander, who is monitoring.
I was just about to say
the ICO-CREAD documents, which will include links to the very community. So it's a good way to begin our collaboration with them, is to
start
and ask our own people for their own feedback.
Exactly. I like that. Okay. And then later on, when we have something better, like this new centralized sharing platform, great, we can incorporate that instead. But yeah, I would love to start. We have so many people that really want to be doing stuff to help, but we know right now one of our big challenges is finding enough recipients, people that need prosthetic devices. Well, this would open up whole new communities of people that we could help. So
agreed.
All right. I don't think we have anything to talk about on the technical side unless anybody has new tools or things that they want to recommend that you've been working with. I continue to be extremely impressed with Onshape. So anyone who is on the CAD side of things, if you haven't yet seen the presentation that Andrew Kreiser gave a couple of months back, it's worth seeing. It really convinced me to look further into the platform, and it has a lot to offer. It's free. Alexander, I know research and development is your area of interest, but I also know you're tied up on a project right now. Anything that you'd like to talk about here under this general topic?
No relevant progress to speak of. I'm still working on it.
Sure.
Other than that, not really.
Now, as of now, just so we can give people an update, Alexander, you are working on populating a Google Sheet with all of the data for all of our designs in the catalog. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have confirmed with Masvi that he is going to be able to help us to then easily pull that data from the spreadsheet and use that to populate pages for us in the hub. We don't know exactly how we're going to do it yet, but he feels confident that he can do that much for us. So our focus is just on getting all that data into the sheet.
Do you have any ideas of how we'll manage the category pages? Will it be just one giant page, or will the categories be completely separated?
Well, no, we can define the categories, but remember, we only have one level to work with due to that limitation of the wiki module, if that's what we're going to go with in the hub. That's something we might want to follow up with Masvi on, because if he took the approach of doing it like as generating custom HTML pages, well, then we could do whatever, however many levels of categories we want. But as of now, I would say just add a column into your spreadsheet for category and just use a single category identifier as one of the fields in there, and that would translate to the wiki or whatever other approach he wants to use.
All right.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Onboarding, Kevin, that's been your area of focus. Do you have anything that you'd like to report on or discuss, or anything that we can help with in terms of your onboarding work?
Well, we're hoping to have the new forum homepage launched before the conference.
Nice.
The only thing is, Alexander, you're working on a new project for designers, right? Is there any way I can link people to that?
Well, it's really
You
just the
mean the
current-
one where I developed the device pages?
Yes.
It's the current design catalog, Kevin. So you can just link to the current device catalog that we have. As Alexander moves forward, as we're able to, that existing page is just going to be updated and it'll look better and have better stuff on it. But it's the same page, so you can just link to the current devices catalog.
Okay, perfect.
If you wanted to for some reason you want to link people to like the work that Alexander is doing, you could link to his Lumio proposal, but that won't be of interest to most people.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so
That does raise an interesting question. Kevin, does your newly streamlined Launchpad include, forgive me for asking this because I should know, but does it include raising awareness of the e-NABLE Fund and the fact that our community now has non-trivial financial support for member-generated projects? That's actually an important thing for newcomers to be aware of.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
great. All right. Let's see. Community collaboration. This is just kind of a general discussion area for how we can get the community more involved in discussions just like the one we had today. We're doing our best to do that through these town halls, but time I'm sure doesn't work for everyone. Language doesn't work for everyone, so we're always looking for better ways to get more people involved and just sharing what we're doing and helping each other out. Chapter spotlights. Any plans there? Is Ben still with us, or did we? Oh, no, he had to
Ben's
go.
not
That's right.
still with us.
So this
he
is something
has-
I would. I know Ben. Ben's on his what second run now as communications. Is it second or third run?
Second iteration as communications
Iteration.
person, yes.
And is the plan? I mean, I know his plan originally was that he wanted to kind of model things and then kind of hand it off to others and go focus on other things. Is like, do you know where is that at? And is he planning to re-up, or is he planning to hand this off to others, or?
I think so. First of all, Ali and Kevin have indeed absorbed some of Ben's know-how, and it has been documented in the process, which is part of what he wanted to do. He is very interested in sort of taking the processes that he has been the essential link for and making them into things that can be handled with less invention and more regularity. So that's underway. To my knowledge, Ben has no immediate plans to move on, but I think, as I've just said, he's interested in sort of going up a level. He did a great job on the annual report, which is he's actually raised the bar on that.
Yeah.
So, in answer to your question, I hope we will get to re-up him in a higher capacity.
Exactly. Yeah.
And as far as I know, that's still in the cards, but it's a free country.
It's kind of fun. It's one of those roles where your primary goal is to make your own job obsolete so that you're no longer needed.
Well, that's right, and he's been very conscientious about that.
Yeah.
And it's actually it's a good, and in general, it's a good model for e-NABLE.
It is.
Us lifers spend most of our time trying to create processes that won't require our continued interaction. In some cases, paid staff are part of that process, but they too are trying to create processes that the volunteer community can take on themselves. So it's a delicate balance, but we're doing it. And to repeat myself,
Yeah, I think
there is funding to grease those skids.
I think the modeling thing is really good. That I think of it like a spinning top. Once you get it going, it's got this momentum of its own, and it's just a matter of doing these things enough times that it kind of gets into a rhythm of its own, and it kind of just like set it going on its own. I feel like we're having some success with some of these recurring sessions that we've had. And I know Vivek has already taken over ownership of one of those focus groups with the bionic teams. And there's others that are kind of stepping up and taking ownership of some of those, and that's really good to see. So I think we just need to keep doing that.
Yeah, it is. You know, many organizations hope to grow, and that means increase their staffing and increase their budgets. We haven't gotten to the point where we're trying not to increase our budgets, but actually we are eager to draw down the money that we do have, as well as get more money in.
Right.
Our ambition is not to grow. Our ambition is to grow the network and keep those of us who try to facilitate the whole network as lean, as mean as we can be. And that's
we got to think about how to communicate this with the community, because I think where we're getting stuck here is there are so many good people in this community, and I think so many people doing amazing work but are hesitant to ask for money from a shared fund. There's a lot of people that would feel like they're taking it away from somebody else, and we need to make people understand that putting that money to good use, doing good projects with us, is going to help us get more money. So it really is helping us to put good projects through that process.
That's right. Compared to most organizations, we have extremely low overhead, which is part of this process. And, you know, one way to think about it is to hang on to the phrase, we have to pay for things that volunteers can't do or won't do or shouldn't do. If volunteers can, will, and do, then great. That's what makes e-NABLE wonderful. But volunteers have lives. They can't make long-term commitments. And frankly, we can't hold them as accountable as we can people who are contracted to do a particular thing. That's all fine and good, but it means you should consider stepping up to the plate and saying, okay, with funding, I could set aside dedicated time for a project that the community thinks would benefit for everyone. And if that's the case, we're in the happy position of saying, great, we can do that.
Absolutely. Well, I don't have anything else, so let me ask if anybody has anything that you'd like to discuss in our final minutes here. Otherwise, we can wrap a little bit short. I'm seeing some things in the chat I haven't really kept up on. I know Alexander asked John if he could stick around and look at something. Alexander, is this something that you wanted to have like on the recording, or is that just a you and John thing?
No, that would be off the recording if possible.
Fair enough. Then does anybody else have anything before we wrap up today? Okay. Well, then I will thank
could you wait for a
us.
minute to for John to respond to my last message?
I'm not going to end the meeting.
Relevant.
I'm just going to end the live stream.
Have you done?
We good?